Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 15th of March 2019, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then guys, let's quickly jump into a few charts. Now the first one I want to touch on here is the DXY. Now I was talking about DXY yesterday. I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this little downside resistance line taken from the high of the 7th of March, and you can see that this is what's happening, and I've drawn this little arrow here of a potential scenario where the index could fail to kind of maybe test this, or even actually if it would have tested the downside resistance line, if it struggles to get above it, then yeah, we could see maybe a slide lower. So for now it's doing exactly that. The only thing is that it's currently getting held here by this 200 EMA, shown as the black line here on the 4-hour chart, and that's approximately around the 96.60 area, approximately there. So in a way, what you could do here is, of course, if you see a drop below this, then yep, further declines could be possible. If you see a drop below the 200 EMA, yep, further declines are possible towards the 96.40 level, which acted as a very good area of support this week. But if this fails and this fails to withhold, then yep, a further slide lower could be possible as well towards this upside support line. And this is where we're gonna hold on and just wait and see what it wants to do further. Of course, in the scenario if we see a slide below these 96.40 level, that's the only scenario, the only case when we will we will consider the upside support line as the next target. For us, the main question here is, will this actually stay above the 200 EMA and travel back above the pivot? Because you can see that it's currently sitting below today's pivot, which is slightly a bearish sign, or actually is it going to drop lower here and continue its path north? For now, probably the most logical scenario could be here just to wait and see and wait for that confirmation break, because if this decides to travel higher again, of course this could be seen as a bullish scenario. But the only thing is, for us to get more bullish on this one, we would like to see a nice good break above this downside resistance line, and also a jump above the 96.90 level, and only then we will target higher areas. For now, we're going to stay put and just continue observing the price action. WTI, I was talking about this one yesterday and also a few times this week, in the beginning of this week. So basically this is what happened yesterday, and we saw a nice reversal. Now I was talking about this potential move here like that, where we could see maybe a drop lower, a potentially test this upper bound of the range that the commodity was trading in, but you can see it didn't quite reach that, just fell shy of a few points, but still reversed back to the upside, and now it's pushing higher. Now the next level that we're keeping a close eye on is the 59.25 zone. Now just to kind of show you what that level was here in the past, and I've already mentioned it before, that's the high of the 13th of November last year, and also the low of the 9th of November. So keep a close eye on this level. This could be that next potential target. Of course, if that gets broken, then yep, further acceleration to the upside is possible. And in a way, what we're going to do here is, in order to find another good potential area of resistance here, we're going to look at this level right here, approximately around the, let me just quickly adjust that, approximately around the 6120 zone, so which marks the high of the 12th of November and the low of the 7th of November. So very good potential area of resistance, but only if we see a push above the 59.25 level, which it's still needs to get to. In terms of the downside, if this suddenly drops below the upper bound of this range, then yep, we could see maybe a further slide lower towards the 56.70. But if that fails to withhold, then yep, further declines could be possible. The only thing is that could be quite a big move if, let's say, for today, just for today, we would need something really extraordinary in the market, or in terms of the news. But for now, it seems to be more positive than negative. We could see this one climbing higher. Of course, the concerns around the Venezuela crisis is not easing off, and that's why we could see this one traveling further up again. So for now, be very careful with this one and keep your eyes on some of these key support and resistance levels. Ripple, now this is the annoying crypto, which is forming a very nice triangle here. If you just look from the lows of the 24th of February, yep, it continues to get squeezed. So we're waiting for that little pop here. Now, don't get me wrong, this is what we had overnight here yesterday. This is the chart that I'm using here is the Bitfinex, and for some reason there is a spike lower here. You might not have it on your platforms, but double check different other exchanges. We might not have this little spike here to the downside. So that's why, guys, for now, of course, in a way, ignore this a little bit. A lot of stop losses were triggered probably at this point here. So that's why for now we still continue observing these levels here. On the upside is the 0.3230 resistance area, and on the downside still we're looking at the 0.3145 zone. A break below that could also place the crypto below this rising channel formation. We can see it running since around the end of January. So a very interesting situation right now here on Ripple. Keep a close eye on the potential breakout points, and like I said, on the upside is the 0.3230 that we're still keeping a close eye on, and on the downside is the 0.31 I do apologize, not the 45, the 0.3115 area approximately there, which marks the low of the 12th of March, or in other words, the lowest point of this week. So the 0.3115 level on the downside, that's the one that we're going to be keeping a close eye on. Now let's jump into a few pairs. Aussie dollar, now this one is a tricky one, even though at the same time it's very interesting. So on Monday traveled higher, managed to break this key area of resistance near the 0.7050 level, approximately there, and kind of pushed itself higher here, and now it's kind of ranging here, and you can see this little tight range that the pair is stuck in. So that's between the 0.7050 level on the downside, approximately there, and on the upside is around the 0.79, or actually we could in a way round up already towards the 0.71 zone. So just to kind of have a nice beautiful number here on the upside. So what we're going to do here is, of course, we're going to keep an eye on the 0.71 level. If we see a nice break above that level, then of course that would be quite positive for the pair, because it will also could potentially break this 200 EMA and continue traveling higher. So for now, we're just going to stay neutral and continue observing this one, because like I said, it's currently ranging and it's kind of stuck here between the 0.7050 and the 0.71 levels. But if this suddenly decides to pop above the upper side of this little range, then yep, we could see further acceleration to the upside. The next potential area, a good potential area of resistance, could be seen around the 0.7120. Slightly above that, we do have the R2, which is around the 0.7125. Today's R2, of course. And if that doesn't stop the rate from accelerating, then yep, the 0.7150 level could be that next area of resistance that we could be looking at. So, but for now, this is where the pair is stuck in. Certainly, it's currently sitting above the pivot, which is a slightly positive sign here for the pair. But everything can change, you know. These are the markets that we're dealing with. So in terms of the downside, keep your eyes on this 0.7050 level. A drop below that could potentially lead towards slightly lower levels, or even actually we could see a retest of last week's lows, which were near the 0.70 level, the psychological 0.770. So that's the situation for now on the Aussie dollar. Just put some arrows here for our future reference. And these are the levels that we're going to be keeping a close eye on. Now, EURJPY, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, just going to say that on Tuesday, I believe I was talking about this one, and basically I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this little range, and also, not even range, these levels. I mean, ignore the fact that it's not a range, it's just keep an eye on these levels. So basically, we were still trading below this downside resistance line, but for us to get more comfortable, what I was saying that we need to see a nice good push above the 125.75 level, and we can see that initially we did have a nice break here. Certainly tried to move lower, tested the 200 EMA, but failed to drive below it and continued to push higher again. So now the pair found good resistance near 126.50 level. I was talking about that area as well. Let's see how this is going to play out further today, because you can still see that the pair is still trading below this upside support line that has been running here. It's a bit of a tentative one. This has been running here from the lows of the 3rd of January, but again, don't put too much emphasis on it, because it's a bit of a tentative one. Depends how you're going to draw this, which lows are going to connect, and also we did have a break here on the 14th of February. So in a way, keep a close eye on some of the key areas of resistance and support. So basically, if we see a nice good push above the 126.50 level, the next potential little target that we could have in mind is going to be around the 126.95 area, which marks the high of the 5th of March. We could see a push higher there. That's why we're going to, like I said, just stay put here. Don't forget that also that looking at the 4-hour chart in general, this pair is quite overextended here to the upside, and in a way this is going to be very tricky for it to, let's say, to hold on to this. At some point we could see a retracement back down, but the question is this going to happen today, or is this something for next week? So for now, if probably just wait for that confirmation break. If we see a drop below the this level right here, the 126.20 level, certainly that could be the first indication that not everything is wrong, not everything is good in the bull block, and we could see further slide lower. There are some good potential areas of support here, like for example this one here around the 126, but for those who are more on the cautious side, you could in a way wait until we see a drop below the 126 level and then target lower areas. But for now guys, be very careful with this one. It's a very interesting one. It's going to be very interesting to see where it ends up today. Will it actually maintain and continue traveling higher here, or actually this is going to break lower? For now, of course, we're more bullish than bearish, but again, we need to see a nice good pop here above the 126.50 level before we can take the bullish side. Jumping into GBPUSD. Now this is the currency which is kind of basically in the spotlight this week. So yesterday there was another vote, and to be honest, you can see that there was not really much activity here in the GBPUSD, and to be honest, in some other pairs as well, and mainly because the vote was already priced in, and yep, that's what we have today. And currently the pair is trading below its pivot, which is slightly a bearish sign, but again, we're not going to jump into conclusions yet. For us to get more comfortable with the downside or the upside from the very short-term perspective for today, specifically, we would like to see a drop below the 1.3220 level, and only then we will target slightly lower areas, like for example the S1 initially, though around the 132 zone, or even actually this little tentative target here, a little tentative support area around the 131.85 zone, which probably if if by the time we see the pair traveling here, would coincide also with the 50 EMA. So for now, be very careful with this one. From the very short term, very short term perspective, still a drop below the 132.20 level could potentially lead towards slightly lower areas. And if we do see a move then lower, and if we do see a drop even below the 132 zone, well, that's going to be very interesting to watch, because we could see further declines here towards the 131 zone or even lower. In terms of the upside, well, what we're looking here for is initially we will look at this 132.85 zone. A nice good move above this could lead towards yesterday's highs, of course, and maybe a little bit higher here towards the 133.50, which marks the highest point of February. So this 133.50 could be that next potential target if we see a nice good pop up of the 132.85 zone. So keep your eyes on that one, guys. And the last pair I want to quickly touch on, again, not going to spend too much time on it. I was talking about this one previously, and I was initially we had this nice break here to the downside around the 133.45. We managed to reach our target at 133, from which you can see the pair yesterday rebounded and pushed higher. The only thing is that also I was talking about this one in one of my previous videos, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this 133.45 level again, because you can see that the pair yesterday tried to push higher but failed to move it above that, and today we're seeing this retracement back down, and it's currently again balancing near this 133 zone, and also just slightly above this 200 EMA. So which leads me to the fact that if we see a nice good drop here below the 133 level and 1.33, and of course a drop below the 200 EMA, then yep, we could then target the 132.80. and for those who are more on the cautious side, the 132.80 could confirm a break below that level, could confirm a forthcoming lower low, and then we will target the 132.40 zone, 43.40 zone, something like that, approximately there, which is near the highs of the 22nd of February. So that's why, guys, for now let's play it short and simple. Keep your eyes on the 133 zone, and of course on this 200 EMA, and then on the 132.80 zone, because if that gets broken, this could be that better confirmation of the downside. In terms of the upside, we're gonna wait and wait this one out and wait until it travels back above the 133.45, and only then aim for higher areas. But for now, like I said, we're gonna just continue observing this one, and it might actually maybe show us a good potential here for an entry somewhere. But again, always have your stop loss in place, guys, and keep your eyes on the price action. Okay, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and if you want to join me later on at my trader's tea time, that's 14:15 GMT time. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful trading day, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.